Okay, let's look at a few applications of strain gauges. Okay, so one of the most common places where strain gauges are used is to make a load cell. A load cell is basically a device that measures load or force. So, for example, in this particular device, you apply a load at this point, and that load, the amount of weight, the amount of force that is put on the load cell is measured. Okay, these kinds of load cells, the ones that I've shown uh, on the bottom of the screen, are called button load cells for obvious reasons. They look like a button, and when you apply a force here, that load is measured. Okay, and the mechanism by which the load is measured, for example, in this is as the load is uh, the load is applied here, and the load is applied basically on a cylindrical, let's say a metallic shaft, and as the load is applied, the shaft either compresses or comes back, right? And that is measured by putting strain gauges on the shaft that measure the strain along the length of the shaft. So if the load is applied, the shaft is compressed, and that compression of the surface is measured by strain gauges on the shaft. Okay, that's how these load cells at the bottom work. This is called a beam load cell, and the mechanism of the working of this beam load cell is shown in this figure. Take a look at this kind of inverted Z kind of structure here. Okay, and what happens is when you apply a load here, you can see the surface that's at the middle gets deformed, right? So as it is shown right now in the simulation, in the animation that here. And what we do is we put strain gauges at the top of the surface and at the bottom here. And when this is compressed, this top surface is going to expand because it's bending like this. So this surface is going to expand. And the bottom surface, when this happens, is actually getting compressed. And those are picked up by these strain gauges here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's how you're able to measure the load. So the load is translated into a bend of the beam, and the bend of the beam is measured by bonded strain gauges. Okay, let's look at another application of pressure sensors. Again, another application of strain gauges, and we are using it as a pressure sensor. So in this case, let's say you have a fixed casing here, and this thing in the middle is a diaphragm. Okay, and this diaphragm can be used to measure the pressure differential. If P1 is greater than P2, then what do we expect? If this is a flexible diaphragm, you expect the diaphragm to move, to kind of bulge out towards the right? If P2 is greater than P1, then you expect the diaphragm to bulge out towards the left. Okay, so that's the kind of measurement that we want to make. Now, if you look at the front view of this diaphragm, it would look like this. And what we do is we want to measure this bulging out of this diaphragm, and we can do that by putting strain gauges at various places on the diaphragm. Okay, so these strain gauges measure strain in the direction of their length, and so this would give you the amount of deformation in the diaphragm, and that could give you an indication of how much pressure is being measured. Now, if you build a sensor like this, what you would do is you would build a sensor like this and you would say, well, as I'm thinking about this, I think the strain is somehow going to be related to pressure. And maybe it is possible to do some calculations to show how the strain on this strain gauges is related to the pressure, or maybe it's not. Uh, uh, if it's not, then the only way to find out a relationship between the pressure and the change in resistance because of the strain gauges is to actually do a calibration. So you make this sensor, and then you apply a little bit of pressure differential and you measure the change in resistance. You change the pressure differential and you change it to various values, and you keep measuring the resistance change in the strain gauges, and you get a calibration curve, and that calibration curve would tell you whether the sensor is a good sensor or not. However, understanding how strain gauges work would help you to design the sensor properly in the first case, right? Because for this pressure sensor, we know that what we want to measure is this bulging out of the sensor. So we want to kind of measure a radial strain, right? So how would you measure a radial strain? What kind of strain gauges, what kind of arrangement of strain gauges would enable you to do that? And so I've put some kind of, so people have actually used this kind of arrangement, but you could use some other arrangement as well. One of the things you could do is look at the uh, in, in the previous slides we talked about strain gauge rosettes, and see if there is a particular rosette that would suit this application more than any other.